Whoever is here, welcome. Thank you for watching. I have pinned my Patreon. You'll find it in the chat. Say hello, and somebody is saying hello. Hi, Happy New Year, Lindsley something something. Lindsley? Okay, I don't know. Happy New Year, happy 2026, and welcome. I'm not a Grinch, even though the title is a bit depressing and the thumbnail is probably going to be also somewhat funny. But the norm, the norm this time of year, and why a lot of people struggle, why a lot of people have issues is you must be happy. I shouldn't say you must be happy, but it is expected of you to be, and I just closed my notes. So, yeah. All right. So this time of year between Christmas and between the New Year, there's a lot of joy and celebration, and it's fine. I'm not here to tell you, I'm not here to poo poo those who are joyous and those who are happy and those who are celebrating. I'm just saying there's usually a group of people who feel shunned, who feel left out. And I believe I've had some comments in my, I think, ASMR channel about how difficult Christmas and this time of year can be for a lot of people who don't necessarily fit. They don't necessarily fall in the mold of the mainstream of happy holidays and, gifts for whatever reason. I'm not here to judge anyone, including myself, but let me just lower the volume because I can hear myself yelling now that I've increased the volume to the max. It's a difficult time of year. A lot of people feel misunderstood. A lot of people feel like they might impose their energy of whatever it is they're feeling on others, so they just decide to stay home. A lot of people are estranged from their families. There are many, 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 many reasons for all the different people out there who don't necessarily tap into the joyous celebratory spirit of this time of year. Yours truly falls in that category. Not here to play victim. I'm actually here to talk to you about this specific energy that I felt specifically this new year. I didn't get this energy during Christmas, but there are two energies. One is predominant, and there's one that's underneath it that I'm going to discuss with you to maybe shed some light, to maybe give some insight into that friend, into that family member, into that person that you know who maybe you think is a Grinch, who maybe you dislike, who maybe you think, oh, they're being negative this time of year. Maybe it's happening to you. Maybe that's you. Me personally, I always like to give examples about me. I've learned a very long time ago not to talk about anyone else but myself. So when I speak about myself, when I come on here and talk to you about things that are happening to me, I am not here to play the victim. No, no. I don't want sympathy. I don't want you to feel for me. I'm here to help. I'm here to share. Because not everyone is able to be honest about what it is they are going through and how it is they truly feel. So, here's trying. I was having a fairly lovely New Year's Eve until I got physically sick. I stayed home. I don't I can't handle the energy of big crowds and all that. Where I live, usually they do fireworks, and I can see them and hear them. So I'm good with that. I'm fine, and I don't feel like I need to go out and celebrate. If I do want to, I would. But usually for the past, I guess, I don't know, maybe 10 years, I've chosen to stay, keep it on the low and let everyone enjoy. I'm not envious. I'm not judgy of everyone. But New Year's Eve, I got physically sick and I didn't drink. I don't drink. I didn't do anything. I just got sick. So I thought to myself, wow, that's quite the start to 2026. So I took some medication and I got better and I tucked myself into bed early. And then I woke up just after midnight. I was awake, so I checked on. I had released my ASMR video, the Vagus Nerve Reset, in my Whispers of the Arabian Oracle ASMR channel. If you want to go check it out, it might help. Um, Woke up just after midnight. Checked my YouTube, checked, and then I work online. I have some online platforms that I'm trying to make, a living off of. They generate my income. And just before Christmas, I had to deactivate two major platforms that, they were very, very financially lucrative for me. And that had to happen because I cannot handle the censorship that is going on in the West right now. I was never able to handle censorship from my times in Saudi Arabia. A lot of people in the West are 100% A-OK with the level of censorship and the creeping authoritarianism that is happening. Perhaps they are aware and they don't care. Perhaps they completely don't know. Perhaps they're not aware and they're just becoming compliant with everything, thinking that this is the norm. And they tend to call people like myself conspiracy theories. People who escaped authoritarianism, people who escaped, a surveillance state, people who escaped censorship and came to the West for freedom, to now start to lose these freedoms again. They call us conspiracy theorists and they hate us and they call us crazies and they call us this and that and freedomers they have all kinds of names for us. So I don't want to engage the energy around censorship. I'm pretty sick and tired of it. So I chose to deactivate two major platforms. I woke up shortly after midnight last night and I was checking on one of my platforms and it was suspended. It was suspended. I really don't want to go into the details of it, but I can guarantee you, and I sat and I thought about this, that I did nothing wrong. There were absolutely no warnings of a suspension. Usually they give you 3 warnings and then you receive like a slap on the wrist. Like they give you some time to correct and delete, and none of that happened. My account just was terminated because a bunch of people complained. And we live in a time period right now where this level of creeping authoritarianism, you can see it a little bit outside in the real world, but it's really, really prominent online. And a lot of people are choosing to comply with this. I've never been a person who complies. If I were a person who complied with authoritarianism and censorship, I would still be living in Saudi Arabia, maybe even worse, somewhere a lot worse, and I would be wife number 4 to some man who has 60 children, But I've always been different, and I've always rejected authoritarianism, and I've always rejected control. So my posts on that platform, they were very, very non-violent. There was no anger, there was no hostility, and they were all pictures. And still, my platform was targeted and it was removed. That was the first thing that happened to me in the beginning of 2026. And when it happened, just given my own personal background, I felt the energy of getting upset and I'm a victim and I'm being targeted and oh my God, all that. And I want to go bitch and complain and I want to file an appeal and I want to do this and I want to fight, and all that came up. Old, very old, stale energy from my life in, under authoritarianism. But then, within that same minute that all this was happening and all these emotions and energies were flooding me, something came over me, awareness, I guess, wisdom. And I'm like, this isn't going to impact me because I've been through a lot worse in the past, and it didn't really impact me. If anything, I know inside of me that I can navigate this. And the harder part of all of this is my accounts consistently get targeted because of the fact that a lot of people are aware that I am ex-Muslim. And I'm told this. I'm told this. I get threats of being beheaded. I get all this happens to me online on my other platforms. I just don't let it bother me anymore. The energy that was very difficult, and I had to sort of do some work to reach it, is the energy that I came on here, I believe, just before Christmas, or no, after Christmas, and I talked to you about, which is Christ consciousness energy, or love energy, or unity consciousness, which is what this is about, by the way. I had to really work through a lot of gunk, a lot of stuck energy, a lot of old victimhood, the old record that's playing in your mind, and the emotions that get stirred up within you because you are replaying a story that you've lived for so long, and you believed this story. That story, that energy of that story is what I felt like I was purging. I was working through. I finally worked through it. I spent most of today working energetically on myself till I finally reached the base energy, which is to love, to always choose love. I can get angry at the people who are very unconscious, who choose to fight. They know nothing about me outside of the fact that I'm ex-Muslim and I need to be targeted because I'm an Islamophobe. And the platforms that allow them to behave this way, because you have major banking institutions now that control the narrative around what is Islamophobia, what they see as, hostility towards religion. I would like to remind you, if you live in the West and you are okay and you see any criticism of any religion, even if it was made in a funny way, as an Islamophobic thing or something that is violence or something that is racist, if that is what you think, freedom of religion comes with something else, and that something else is called freedom from religion. I'm going to say that again. Freedom of religion also comes with freedom from religion. And if it's not packaged together, then there's a big problem here. All right? Now that I've said that, I'm going to go back and tell you that I chose to get off that platform. I'm not going to fight. I did create another account, but I'm choosing love. I'm choosing compassion. I'm choosing to understand that they have fused their identities with man-made religion. It's not even true spirituality. They know nothing about the person that they're trying to fight and take platforms away from that bring an income for me. Part of that is me also taking ownership. Okay, the world isn't ready yet for anyone to criticize this religion. It's usually a specific religion that you can't criticize. Other religions, they're okay. But I guess the West has regressed, and I need to accept where I am in the West right now to a degree. To a degree, don't get me wrong. I'm not going to go get on a cart or a train to take me somewhere anytime soon. But thankfully, I have that awareness. So this little rant is morphing a lot, but I chose to understand and have compassion to them, to the people who haven't reached the level of awareness that I'm getting there. You know, it's hard. I'm it's a rocky you know, you're there a minute and then you fall off the wagon the next minute. But I really want to embody this energy because I'm tired of hate. I'm tired of anger. I'm tired of me versus you. I'm tired of us versus them. I'm tired of being a victim. I'm tired of seeing other people as having power over me. Because really, nobody has power over me unless I let them have power. So what? They took a platform? Great. I've got about six others, you know? And I might still post on that platform, but change a little bit. I'm going to be smart about this and navigate these treacherous roads that we are currently facing in the West. All right. So that was my new year. That was how I started. This is how 2026 welcomed me. What does all this mean? I'm going to go over to my notes. Energy wise, there is a sweeping energy current that you might be feeling. You might be seeing it in your personal life. Something might have gone wrong. Something is coming your way that's going to go wrong. Or you just pass through a horrendous experience. So the energy current is going to where it's basically sweeping through all the little nooks and crannies where there is residual old stale energy hiding, victimhood. Oh, I'm oppressed. Oh, woe is me. Oh, me. So the sweeping energy current, the thing that's ruffling your feathers, the thing that ruffled my feathers last night and the night before, it's an energy that is trying to cleanse us of garbage, gunk, shit that we no longer need, that will not serve us moving into 2026. Why? Because 2026 holds significant change for us. A significant change that we wouldn't be ready for until this gunk, this trash energy that is hiding, and every now and then it comes up and we relive it. This little broken record, it needs to be released. We need to let it go. You need to see it. You need to recognize it. And rather than playing in the story, once again, you rise. You rise above it and you choose something different. So the advice, if you're going through a shit show like yours truly, is to let it go. Look at the situation, see what's happening in the 3D world, and then be emotionally intelligent, energetically intelligent, and tap into the energies. What are you feeling? Are these feelings something that hurt you in the past? Something that kept you captive to a scenario, to a story, to a situation, to a person, to a job, something that's not serving you anymore. And purge it. Let it go. Move quickly through whatever it is you need to move through as we've exited 2025 and we're entering 2026. Dust all that off, because I'm not going to tell you something great, but something very different is waiting for you this year in 2026. And if you choose to lug this luggage, this old luggage that's, clothes that don't fit you anymore, is a good metaphor. It's stuff like that. It's kind of like moving from one house to a bigger house. And in the last minute, you begin to throw everything out that you just don't want to take with you. There's no more space. You've run out of moving space. Time to throw it out, give it away, whatever. List it on Kijiji and tell them, as is, where is, come get it for free. That kind of thing. Get rid of the old. So move through it, and move through it quick. Don't hold on and remember an old story and choose to relive it again. You must have enough awareness to be able to see yourself reliving an old pattern. You have to have that level of awareness. And I'm going to give you a little tip throughout the day today and last night, because I dipped. I'm not going to lie to you. I definitely dipped. I feel like the camera's not. Um, I have little sticky notes in areas in my apartment that I frequent a lot, and they help me because the sticky notes say things like rejection is divine protection. They say things like you are not your thoughts, you are the awareness behind your thoughts. Because when a life situation, it's easy for me to come on here and preach. It's easy for me to come, it's easy for anyone to pretend to be spiritual. It's when you get tested that you know, that's when you start using your tools. And we can't help but dip down. So when I was lost in my thought and I started to loop in my emotions, I saw these notes and they helped me because I wrote these notes from a level of high awareness, high vibration for the days and the times that I sink low, as a reminder, as a lifeline to help me get out of these low vibrations, to help me find a lifeline to higher awareness again, so that I can continue to grow and not get stuck. So don't hold on and remember an old story only to relive it again and again and again and torture yourself and torture the energy that all it wants is to be seen by you and released. Change is coming, like I said, and it cannot come with these energies still living in us. Example, victimhood. This always happens to me. Anger, rage, feeling of persecution, feeling targeted, anything, reliving even ancestral pain, like coming up with a scenario that, someone is being racist, unless they're, of course, being racist. But are they being racist, or are you playing in that pain? Those are just a few examples. It depends really on what you're going through, what situation is showing up for you in your life right now, if anything. You might be fine. You might be watching this and thinking, wow, she's really going through a lot. I'm doing all good here. Yes. That's it, by the way. That's what I wanted to come on here and discuss, the energies, the current energies that some of us might be facing, and what they mean, and what they are asking of you. They're asking you to step into a higher, better, newer, emerging version of yourself that chooses love, that chooses compassion, and above all, you choose loving yourself and being compassionate towards yourself first. You do that by stepping out of an old pattern that needs you to see it and let it go, because it will no longer serve you. All right, that's my shitty New Year rant. I'm going to finish off by something that might lead into the next live stream, because I don't want to mishmash my live streams. But while all this was happening, I had a couple of messages come through. One message specifically, I'm going to mention it here. I was on Instagram and I follow a lovely gentleman who lives in the States. His podcast is called Typical Skeptic Podcast. Robert Khalil, I believe. I follow him on Instagram. He interviewed me a couple of times. Lovely gentleman. and there was a photo of him with a lady. I don't know if they're partners or not, but in that sort of photo, they were promoting a website, and it's called Awaken and Unite. I really have to give credit where credit is due. I read that word, Awaken and Unite, which is typical skeptics. I guess it's his new project or new website or something. And immediately something came through, and the words that came through were asleep and divided, awake and united. That is the ultimate fate of humankind. I'm going to repeat it again, and I'm going to again say that this came through, it was triggered by reading Typical Skeptic Podcast's new website. Asleep and divided, which is the state that we are trying to come out of right now through this conscious evolution that we're going through. Awake and united is where we are heading. And the gateway into there is 2026. That is the ultimate fate of humankind. Unity consciousness is the future. It doesn't matter if you're angry right now, if you think I'm lying, if you think I'm woo-woo, if you think I'm being positive, if you think I'm being fake. Doesn't matter what you think. Unity consciousness, rising above division, hatred, all this nonsense that we are witnessing right now. A lot of us are involved in it on a personal level too. That is the future. Nothing is going to stop it from happening. So you might as well let it in. You might as well let it in. Just like I chose today to not be a victim anymore and see anyone as my oppressor, and chose to carry compassion for the same people that deactivated my platform, that brought me money. Because I believe that my higher self looks after me. That helps. I'm not going to lie to you. I know I'm not alone. I've had so many encounters where my higher self has directly intervened, or the universe, whatever you want to call it, that I'm not worried. I'm not worried. So right now, to have doubt and to worry and to, not have faith that my higher self can see me through this as long as I pay attention to the messages and the guidance. It's like dimming my own light. And I'm not going to do that anymore. I'm just not. So yeah, unity consciousness. Asleep and divided. Awake and united. That is the fate of humankind. That's it. Any questions? It would have been nice for me to just come on here and do a tarot reading. But no tarot readings. I had to come on here and tell you a long story about what's been happening. If there are no questions, then I'm probably gonna finish the live and head out. Any questions? Is anyone here? All right. I'll take that as a no questions. Somebody's saying something, 1 second. Love is the true way. Oh, it is. It is. But when you're stuck in the vibration of hate, anger, and rage, it's very hard to. It's a long jump. It's a big jump to go from rage, hatred, division, and all that nonsense, persecution, us versus them, I'm right, you're wrong, all that, to go to compassion, understanding, and love. It's a humongous leap. And unless you've leaped it before comfortably, I can't do that leap without being in full blown meditation, in immediate counsel with my higher self. I can't do that jump without being in contact, like plugged into my higher self. I can't. Like, I can't be walking around and then I dip down into that energy, maybe accidentally, maybe by choice, and then in the same moment I can choose love. It's very difficult. Perhaps, I don't know, maybe I can. I haven't really been placed in a situation like the situation I'm giving you. It has unfolded over, I think, a period of 24 hours. So I've had the opportunity. I've meditated 4 times in the past 24 hours because I need that. Like, I need that, my higher self to pull me up. I need that rope to pull me up. I still don't have the capacity to do that leap on my own. So it's very difficult to say those words to someone who's in rage without being, subject to their energetic, backlash. They will lash out at you because they can't. There's too much of a gap. They can't do it. They see you as the enemy, probably. They see you as someone who doesn't care. They'll see you as anything. Because that energy, it usually wants to attack. But no, it is definitely the future. Just wanted to share that I didn't come to those words on my own. They were directly triggered by reading whatever Typical Skeptic podcast's new project is. Hopefully something good is happening there. It definitely sounds like it. But the energy of New Earth is it's easy to spot. You can't miss it because it's very different from everything that we've been used to. And it's interesting. I mean, again, I don't want to give my next live away, but the energy of love, unity, consciousness, which is what we're walking into right now, which is why we need to dig out all the gunk that's still inside of us and rid ourselves of it, because it keeps us weighed down. It allows us to sink easy. Get rid of this energy so that you can maintain a nice, you don't have to be super high, but higher frequency or vibration. It'll be easy to spot because religious institutions have been preaching hatred and division. I don't know about all religions. Maybe your religion does not. I don't know. But generally speaking, the man-made religious mold is based in fear and hatred and divisiveness and othering. Every political system on this world, in this planet right now, is based in fear, hatred, and division. Online, institutions, the platforms, people that operate on these platforms, healthcare, money system is rooted right now. I don't know how they've developed this authoritarianism over money. A small group of people, and they've put these laws that are very strange, and all the financial institutions have to, I don't know why they are, but they're complying with these ridiculous, Islamophobia and whatever. It's allowing people who, without being a victim, people who normally oppress, like, let's say men, religious men who oppress women like myself in my part of the world, they're now capable of doing the exact same thing here in the West online. They can't do it in real life. I'm sure they're trying. But online, it's the wild, wild West right now. It's like Chop Chop Square in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. Because, I don't know, the West clearly has lost its way. But, every system, the law, justice, policing, everything is based on hatred, divisiveness, politics, fear, everything. So wherever you see unity consciousness, you're going to know that that's a good place. I'm not telling you go follow everything and everyone, but definitely don't be following and don't be listening and don't be influenced by anyone. including those who pretend to be spiritual. They're very good at they put on the spiritual aura. You know, they get their tarot, they have their big platforms, and then you see them preaching hatred, preaching division. Oh, what are you gonna do? This person did this, let's do this, let's boycott that. All this nonsense. All of it is old earth. It is not unity consciousness. It is a person who is asleep, and people who are following them who are asleep, who are enjoying the energy of hate and divisiveness. All right. Thank you. I shall retire for the night. Happy New Year. Once again, I'm not here to bitch and complain, just here to clarify and give my 2 cents worth. Namaste. Namaste.